So my name is Shelby and I'm the clinician, and this is Kelsey and she's 6. Today we're going to be going over some speech helpers and techniques, and we're going to do a couple activities. The first thing that we're going to do is go over some of our speech helpers and how we talk. So Kelsey, what do you see on this picture?
I see a nose and eyes and lungs and ears and mouth.
And what do you use to speak out of these things?
My lips and my tongue and my lungs and my mouth and my voice box too.
And so when we're looking at these things and when we're kind of talking about them, when you do stutter, we can think about where you're stuttering and how those things might be holding you back a little bit, and we can kind of like explore more where that sound is coming from and how to make it come out a little bit easier.
Okay.
So we can do a couple things. We can do easy onset, and I know we've worked on that a little bit in the past sessions. So what we'll do for that is you can pick a word or I'll pick a word, and then we'll just say it really relaxed and do kind of a little bit of a breath at the beginning. So, for example, if we did the word apple, we might start it kind of like apple.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you want to try that.
Okay. Apple.
Yeah, and you can do a little bit of a breath at the beginning. And where does that breath come from?
Our lungs.
And then where can you control that breath?
Our voice box.
Yeah, so then right there is where that air will kind of, you can stop it or make it go a little bit faster. So we're going to practice a couple of things using our speech helpers.
Okay.
We're going to say some words and do some breath exercises just using where our air and where our sound kind of comes from with these things. So first what I'm going to have you do is take a big breath and then hold it, and you can let it go. And that's kind of using our lungs. So whenever you are speaking and trying to get easier speech or be more fluent, make sure you have enough air, but don't try and always say everything on one big breath. If you need to take breaks, that's good. And then we can practice with our voice box and back in our throats there. When you make a long noise, you could be like, ah, and that's coming from here. And then your breath flow is also coming from your lungs. So if you hold that, can you try and stop it? So where does that air stop?
And my voice box.
So then we can kind of see back in there. You can cut your airflow off, but you can also make it, like we did with our easy onset, you can make it flow better so that your sound can come out. And then you can do the same thing also with your lips and your tongue. It's just at a different place. So we can go like, and your tongue can stop it, but also your breath flow stops. Do you want to try it with your lips?
Yeah. So what sound should I do?
I'm trying to think what you would. Yeah, that could work. Like stopping, like actually stopping on the stop.
Yeah.
Like, because then I guess we're like showing the stop of airflow. Okay, yeah, so why don't you try it and pick a word and use your lips to stop that breath flow and sound.
Okay. Like the word mom.
So that one will stop your airflow, but the sound keeps going, so that's good. And then you could always do a word like jump, and then it stops the sound and the breath flow. And that'll help sometimes. If you're stuck on a sound, you can just relax yourself and stop it and take a moment and then redo it. So with our easy onset, do you want to pick a couple words and we can take turns and go back and forth?
Sure. Can we try my name? Okay. So, Kelsey.
So then I'll do my name. And even though my name starts with a sound that isn't with our voice, we can still do it because the end of my name has one. So I might do something like Shelby.
What about cool? I see that word right
Yeah, so we can do cool, and I'll try that one. Okay. So that one starts with a sound like your name starts with. And we could do something like cool.
Cool.
So then we're stopping a little bit ahead of time, and we're taking that time to get it out and use that relaxed breath and relaxing our muscles a little bit. So then it comes out a little bit easier.
Yeah, it did. Okay.
Yeah. So let's try the word speech.
Okay. Should I go or you go?
You can go.
Okay. Speech.
So then we start with that soft sound, so it makes it a little bit easier to get out.
Yeah.
And then that sound that stops up here, it helps it get out because we're already a little bit relaxed. We could probably do the iceberg or the mirror.
The mirror now.
We can see how long it takes. Yeah. Okay. So the first thing that we're going to do with this is called the mirror activity, and it helps because we can see each other, and I can see you, and you can see me, and what we're going to do is things that you might not normally notice with your speech, you'll be able to see yourself talk. So if you get stuck on something, or your airflow, or you notice yourself being a little bit more tense, you'll be able to see it, and I'll be able to see it. So even if you aren't paying attention, I'll be able to notice, and I can let you know. So when I do let you know, I can just hold up my hand a little bit, and then if you see me do that, stop and tell me what you think you blocked on or stuttered over or anything like that, and we can talk about why you did it, and with that we'll just have a conversation and kind of talk, and if you notice it or I notice it, either way, and then we can identify it.
Okay, so if I notice it, do I hold my hand up too?
You can, or you can just stop and point me out.
Okay.
So why don't you tell me a little bit about your family?
So I noticed that too, and I think it stopped like at my voice box.
Yeah, because you noticed that stop of airflow, and it kind of repeated itself.
So I have one brother and a dog. Her name is Sophie.
That was good that you worked through that. That was really nice. And I noticed that when you said I again, you used your easy onset to get that out.
Yeah, that helped. And my brother lives in Idaho right now, so he comes back on the summer.
That was good. Did you notice what you did there?
I repeated the sound, but I tried to use my easy onset to help get the sound out and to make the sound a little easier.
That was good. And then, what is your brother doing this summer?
Well, he plays hockey during the rest of the year, but in the summer, he just kind of relaxes and takes the time off. And he's married, so him and his wife just kind of hang out.
Those were both really good. That S and that H were good because I noticed that you noticed them and you tried to work through that with your easy onset and just continuing the stutter until you got through it. So that's something else that we might call voluntary stuttering, where if we notice that we're stuttering, we can kind of keep it going and just let it flow out, which is really good. So why don't you tell me a little bit how school is?
School was pretty fun.
So where on our speech guide did you get stuck on that one?
My lips.
Did you notice what happened?
I just kept repeating the p sound, and I couldn't say the rest of the word, so it was hard to stop repeating that sound.
So maybe with that, we can do kind of like with our easy onset, but up here, and you could do like pretty. So then your lips don't have to come all the way together, but you still know what sound you're making.
Pretty. Yeah. It's pretty fun, and I really like recess, and I don't really like reading though, or math.
Why's that?
They're hard for me, and I don't know. It's just hard, and sometimes my teacher doesn't explain it the best, I think.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So see, that was one that you did with your tongue.
Mm-hmm.
So we can see how our muscles in our tongue work like that too.
Mm-hmm.
And that you can even do sort of like your lips, where you don't put your tongue all the way up,
mm-hmm.
and you could say teacher.
Teacher.
Mm-hmm. So you put a little bit of a breath behind it, and then you can talk.
Yeah,
that works really well.
That was easier.
Mm-hmm. So summer's coming up soon. Are you going to do anything fun?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go visit my brother in Traverse City.
That'll be fun. What's your favorite thing to do there?
I like to shop downtown, and we like to go fishing too.
See, both of those were really good. You were able to hold it out, but still finish it, and you got through it using that same kind of easy onset and putting that breath behind it and getting it all the way out. Do you have anything you want to ask me?
What are you going to do this summer?
This summer, I am going to probably see some more clients and maybe work on stuff like that we're working on. Do you have any advice for maybe those kids who I might see this summer?
I like the easy onset because it helps me move past the sound, and it's not like hard to do, and it doesn't hurt to do. Like, it's just easy.
That makes sense.
Like the easy onset.
Yeah, I know. I'll probably use this with them too and see what they think of it, because they're about your age, so maybe it'll work about the same. Okay, so what we're going to do next is we're going to go back and forth and say some sentences. It can be totally up to you what you say. And then tell me, or I'll tell you what kind of stutter I want you to do, whether that's big or loud or really hard stutter. And then when you are stuttering or whatever I want you to stutter on, I'll hold my hand like this.
Okay.
And then I want you to hold that and then let it go really nice. Kind of like our easy onset, but backwards.
Okay.
I'll go first, so if you want to pick a sentence for me or tell me how you want me to stutter, and then I'll show you how to do it.
Okay. How about hard? A hard stutter. And say, I like chocolate.
Okay. So, I like chocolate. Okay. So at the end there, I just kind of like let it go out with the breath.
Okay.
So, I want you to do a big stutter.
Okay.
And then you can say whatever you want.
Okay. I liked
do it on the oval.
Chocolate. Okay. Yeah. I like chocolate too.
So see, you did it at a different spot in that sentence, and that is with our tongue. So when I did it, it was back in here with my voice box, my airflow. So now let's do a longer sentence. We'll do a couple of them.
Okay. I can't think of a sentence.
Okay, so I'll just start. So today I am doing therapy with you, and then I am doing an activity later, and later on tonight I am going to work. So that was really good because we did it on a couple different sounds too, so you were able to see how that works. So I'll do the same for you, and why don't you tell me about what you're doing today?
Okay. So today I am doing therapy with you, and then I think I am going to play with some of my friends outside at my house, and then probably eat dinner and go to sleep.
Good. So doing that sometimes, you can even do that sort of in your head if you want. And you can just kind of like, if you're stuttering on something and you want to get through it easier, just kind of hold it and then let it go.
Yeah, after I hold it, it's always easy to let go.
Just like relax your body and relax those muscles in our speech helpers, and then usually it'll come out a little bit easier. Okay, so now we're just kind of review what we did today and kind of see where this will take you this week, and then we can talk about kind of what we can do at our next session too. Okay. So first, we started with our speech helpers, which we kind of went over different ways to identify where our breath and our sound is coming from and how to relax our muscles and make that a more easy breath. So we kind of talked about how taking a big breath and having enough air for what we're saying and not having to say everything all on one breath, talking in little short spurts, but so that it's a full phrase, and then talking about how our air can stop kind of at our voice box, and that's a lot of where our sound will come from too. And we talked about how our lips and our tongue and our mouth are things that we might not think about all the time, since a lot of our stuttering comes from in here and from our air, but that we can stop sounds with our lips and our tongue too. And we kind of worked through some examples of that. So what are some things that you really liked from this and that kind of help you?
I liked talking about our breath and stopping the sounds like at our lips and our tongues and even our voice box, and like learning that it can stop at different places and it's not just like wherever or like when I choose to, but it stops at those places instead. And
what would you recommend for other people when you're stuttering to like maybe notice or help you with your stuttering?
I think like noticing where it gets stuck, and then once you notice like where it's stuck, then you can kind of help that will help you move through it once you know where it's stuck at.
Yeah, that's good, identifying where. And so then we kind of did our easy onset, which we used in a couple different activities. And what about easy onset do you like?
I like that it helps me move through the sound and it's like easy to do and it doesn't make me tense. But it's just kind of soft and it's pretty easy.
Yeah. So then it'll help you get that sound out better and be more relaxed.
Yeah.
So then we did our mirror activity, which I think helped both of us because I was able to see where you stuttered more and got stopped, and you were able to kind of notice more because I'm sure sometimes you don't necessarily pay attention to like what's going on because you can't see yourself when you talk.
Yeah, the mirror helped me know like where I was stuttering and like things that I do when I stutter. Like I know I like looked away when I was stuttering or like I did like eye movements, and I didn't know that before, but now doing the mirror work that helps me know what I was doing and like when I stutter and where it's at.
Do you think you could do stuff like that at home, like with your family and things like that? Yeah.
Yeah, I think I could.
I wonder also if maybe not even just having to do it in front of the mirror, but when people are actually watching you talk, if you wanted to, you could have them point out and be like, did you notice that? Because then you wouldn't have to sit in a mirror, but someone else would be able to see you. Yeah. And then we did our phrasing, and that was sort of like what I think of as backwards easy onset because it's at the end of it. What helped you with that?
I noticed that when I was stuck in it and then you let go, it was always easier to move out of it after I was stuck on it for a long time. And it helped me notice too like where I was stuck at, like if it was my voice or my lips. And whenever we let go, it was just always easier after I had already studied on it a lot.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think this will be really helpful to a lot of people, and I'm glad that you get some help out of it too, because then it helps you with your stuttering and helping you to get your sound out easier and be a little bit more fluent.
Yeah, it did.
Do you know what ways you would like to kind of use maybe in school or with your friends?
I think the easy onset would be best, and I think it just helps me the most, and I think I could do the mirror stuff with like maybe my mom at home too, and then she can help me point out and realize where and when I stutter too, and then I can know too.
Yeah, that sounds really good, and it seems like we have a lot of good work, and we have a lot set up for next week. So we'll be able to implement more of this next week and just have a lot of fun with it.
Okay.
Today was fun.
Yeah.